Hello, hello, here's a video showing mostly everything that I did on my Bristol trip. The Bristol Science Museum is located in the city centre. It is a large building that contains a ton of interactive things to do. On the first floor of the Science Museum, there was a ton of stuff to explore, such as being able to see your soul through this little projection thingy, some space exhibits, and this one piece that had a ton of old television stacked on top of each other. I ended up coming across these different clocks that replicated how time worked in different areas in space. That was really cool. I also ended up seeing a TARDIS model, which makes sense because the whole section was about time. The second floor of the museum had an entire section dedicated to stop-motion animation, specifically Wallace and Gromit. I really liked this. It was really cool, and you got to see a lot of things, such as some models from I believe Curse of the Were-Rabbit. That section also had a little bit for children where they could draw. There was also a section that had this kind of like space station. It was really nice just walking around. You felt like you were in a sci-fi movie. The final thing I explored on the second floor was this kind of sensory area that had a lot of things that played around with sound and touch and all of that, and it was really fun. I ended up not recording a lot, but the one thing I did record was this boat in a tube where you would press the button and the bubbles would basically try and drown it, and I was doing that for a very long time. I also went to the Bristol Aquarium, which was really nice. I've been to a lot of aquariums over the UK, and my goal currently is to try and go to every sea life that I possibly can. So far I've done London, Brighton, Birmingham, and Southend. Now, this aquarium wasn't a sea life, I think it was an independent one. It reminded me of the Blue Reef Aquarium in Newquay. Just by the way that it looked. I don't know if it's the same company, but it just kind of looked similar walking in. And this was the place where I got most of my footage, because I loved it. The theming for the aquarium was just fantastic. It felt almost as if you were stepping into another world at some points. I took some footage of basically this kind of outside where you're walking through this like makeshift garden. That was really cool. And it led to one part of the aquarium to the other. The fish and other sea life were just absolutely gorgeous to look at. Their tanks were quite clean and big, though the variety of the fish itself wasn't as much as other aquariums that I've been to, but that's completely fine. A little thing to note, when I was going, there was actually, I think, 2 school trips. Obviously, I did not take any footage of the children, but it was really sweet just seeing them so enthusiastic about the fish. And it reminds me of when I was younger, just being little in a school trip and being mesmerized by everything, and that was just like a really small highlight. But anyways, that is my trip to Bristol, and I hope you enjoy looking at the footage I captured. You can also look at some of my photography on my Instagram account, which is in the description below. Anyways, I hope you will have a good one. Bye!